What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be running you through a few things you need to know before you look into scaling. So as you can tell by the title, as I said, it's going to be how to know if you're actually ready to scale. If you guys don't know me, my name is Lutando, the founder and CEO of GreenSage, and we help businesses scale and ensure that their foundation is concrete, that their longevity and their campaigns are top notch and everything in between now. And I want to give a big shout out to anyone who's watching, our current ecom clients and our future ecom clients, that if you have any inquiries, just hit us up. You can go straight to my personal Instagram or to the agency's Instagram, or go into the link in the description and just get through to us so you can set a date where we can build an audit for you. To give you context, guys, to what exactly we do at GreenSage, or what I do as Lutando, we usually work with brands that are around 10 to 80K in around profit revenue. We help them scale, rebuild, and ensure that their systems are in point. Now, without further ado, guys, I just want to run you through some prior case studies that we've had, some situations where we've had with our prior clients. As you can tell, we've had clients that we have to help scale, lower their CPMs. We've even had points where we needed to help clients just move back a little because they were trying to move a little too fast, and that was going to tip the boat over, So let's just get straight into it. And I want to speak on a couple things that I believe every single ecom brand that is trying to scale should have locked in, right? So these are the few things that you should have locked in by now, especially coming back from last year, going into this Q1, right? First thing is systems. You need to ensure that your systems are on point. Secondly, we have your offer. So as I said, if you're not sure if those systems are locked in for you, I need you to ask yourself these couple of questions, right? So these are the questions I need you to ask yourself. Firstly, are my scaling goals actually realistic? Secondly, do I even know what my real ceiling is? Is my back end ready if demand spikes? That's the third question. Fourth question, can I fulfill consistently without things breaking? Fourth question is, are my systems built for volume or just survival? That's a big one. So if you are not able to answer these questions and give a solid answer, here's the sad truth, right? You can try different tactics, but if the foundation is cracked, the building will always collapse, just at different times, because Q1 is usually when those cracks show. Q4, you're coming off spectacular moments. You are able to push your ads. You are able to get content moving so much so that there was demand everywhere, right? And as I said, Q4 hides these bad fundamentals, these small little leaks. The truth is, January is going to expose you, right? January is going to strip away all that demand, where you're going to have to build from a strong foundation. And if you do not have that foundation, then you're going to have trouble scaling, right? Because if you're an ecom brand doing around 30 to 50, even 80K per month, there are these areas that matter far more than scaling tactics, right? And most brands get at least one of them wrong. The first one I had alluded to earlier was your offer, right? We're coming back from Q4 where everyone, and I say everyone, wanted to get their friend a gift under the sun, right? There was demand for a product that you were selling. There was demand, right? And you had good offers in your eyes, right? You believed you had good offers, and you still believe you do. But something I want to break to you is that an offer doesn't mean discount. An offer is not, hey, everyone's doing 5%, so if I do 10%, that's a better offer. That's not an offer. That's noise. If we're being honest with each other, that's noise. A real offer includes the product you're selling, right? The ideal customer and its seasonality. And I'm going to break these things down, right? Firstly, your product. You cannot have an iPhone 2 and everyone is in demand for an iPhone 17 and you think that's a great product. It's not. The product is far from its competitors. It's far from where it should be, right? And that's undercutting your whole offer. That's kicking your whole offer out the door. And if you tie that into your ideal customer, including that, hey, I'm selling an iPhone 2, but my ideal customer is looking for an iPhone 17, that means your offer is dead. Your offer is not really an offer. It's just someone who's trying to sell vintage things, Moving on from that, seasonality. We've seen brands with seasonal offers that die out in one quarter. right? Strong products, but with tiny markets, and bad offers where ads didn't matter because the business was already declining. And to give you an example of this, you could have a ecom brand that sells swimwear, right? In the summer, the swimwear is going to pop off. Everyone wants swimming shorts and a bikini top, right? Everyone wants those things in the summer. But come winter, no one's really looking for it. The market share has dwindled down to almost nothing. And that leaves them with little to tiny market share at all, right? Now they're struggling. In the hopes of scaling, they wanted that the goals they had throughout the quarter, throughout the year, now they have to cut back on them. And this creates a bad offer, right? Because you could launch 10 of the top ads in the country, right? 10 of the toppest ads in the country. And you will still not be able to sell anything or to a high margin rate because it's a seasonal offer. No one wants swimwear in winter, right? So if your product only works in one season, you're automatically shrinking your market. And no amount of ad spend fixes that. Moving on to our second point, right? Your systems. You need to ask yourself, honestly, are your ads actually being managed or are they just running, right? Do you have consistent creative production, UGC, product shot, fresh cycles, or are you recycling what used to work, right? Do you even have a customer service system? Because you understand the fact that when you're scaling, demand is going to go up. And as demand goes up, the customer service line is going to blow up even more. People are going to want to know where their orders are, what's happening. Hey, I'm having a trouble with this. If I wanted to order another, you know the fundamentals, you know the small things, right? The customer service line is going to blow up. Do you have someone manning that? Are you going to be able to manage that, right? And I say you should ask yourself this because a lot of e-com brands don't even have customer service systems. Then there's supply chain, right? You handle an extra 500 to 3,000 extra orders next month. Because this is something you're going to actually have to consider when you're scaling. As I said, not only is the profit going up, demand is also going up. You know these are fundamentals. If the answer is no, then scaling doesn't help you. It hurts you. Because as much as you want to scale, if you're not going to be ready to produce the product, then you're only hurting yourself. Because not only are you hurting your reputation, your customers' trust, you're hurting yourself in terms of money-wise. Because you're going to try and put all this money going into your supplier, but then are you going to be able to make it back? Because now you're not even fulfilling orders. And to cut that short, I want us to move to the third part, right, which is cash flow, right? This is the one nobody talks about. Let's say you spend $1,000 on inventory, right? You sell it and you make $4,000 back. Sounds great, right? Right, it sounds great. But now you realize that most of the money has to go straight back into the business just to keep up. So on paper, you scaled, but in reality, you didn't even breathe. That's why scaling without a cash flow strategy often shoots brands in the foot. Growth without control isn't growth, guys. It's stress. And this is why we've had situations where we've declined partnerships, slowed scaling intentionally, or even pulled brands back. Not because they lack potential, but mainly because their foundation couldn't handle the speed, right? And we don't want to capsize you guys. That's not the whole point of our partnership. We don't want us to get paid and then we say, hey, even if they go off and they don't make any money at all, or they just die in the next couple months, we don't want that. We want longevity for you guys and ourselves, right? And for us to have that longevity with you guys, we need transparency, truth, you know, and the hard truth at times. Because as I said, we've had points where we've declined partnerships because brand systems were so out of par that we couldn't even fix it ourselves, because that would take ages and ages and it wouldn't be realistic for them because they wanted speed, right? And that's not how we're going to operate. If we're going to fix things, it's going to take some time. You're going to have to be realistic with it, right? We have even slowed down scaling because we know the damage that trying to scale too fast may cause, right? Your reputational and all these other fundamentals, right? And mind you, something that I want to put out there is that scaling is easy, guys. It's not hard, but surviving it is the hard part, you know? That's why our philosophy is extremely simple. Growth should remove pressure, not create more of it, right? That's why we focus on time saving for founders, number one. Secondly, sustainable ad systems that will continue to produce for you, where you don't have to stress on the next big ad. That's our problem, right? We take the load off you. Thirdly, alignment and not hype, right? Where we're aligned with the goals, we know the vision, we know exactly what we're trying to get done in the next 2, 6, maybe even 8 months together, right? And I say all this because we work with brands where incentives are shared, right? We don't want to partner with you and it's just a matter of just making sure we get paid. No, we want to make sure that you grow, that you are fruitful in our partnership, and that you go somewhere that you're proud of, right? Risk is reduced, as well as the fact that growth actually makes sense long term, right? Because the goal isn't just to scale Q1 and then just leave it there. It's to build something that doesn't collapse right after, right? And if this is something you guys are looking for, and this is something that you want to have us look into in terms of your systems and your foundations, where we give you a free audit and just analyze your whole foundation to see if you're even ready to scale, hit us up from the link in our description, or just go to my personal Instagram, just hit me up, as well as the agency's Instagram, and we would be happy to hear from you. And be ready for the next video, guys. It's going to be coming in the next couple of days. Peace and love throughout Q1.